Hi again, everybody. Mike Smith. I have a lob wedge in my hand, a 60. I used to, before viewing this content, which you're going to see in this video, which is so instructive and awesome, I used to take it higher or farther to try and create more speed. That's not necessary. When you rotate the right way and let those hips dictate, your body can actually tell you how far you need to hit it, whether it's 50, 60, or 70. Just by rotation. I just had one just like that. Ended up 4 feet.
Now, if you were to feel like you were just going to underhand throw the ball over to the green, then what would you feel? So go ahead and look at the target and just try and simulate, because you're, being an athlete, you're very athletic. So what do you feel in that motion there? Where do you feel like your balance is?
I'm definitely shifting a little weight right, and then all my weight left.
Okay, all right. And then again, notice how much of the hip rotation you have coming through. The left hip is posting backwards and not moving laterally, because that's something that we've seen in other swings of yours, where your hips are moving laterally through the shot and not rotationally. So let's try a couple of shots where you actually kind of pull the left foot back a little bit at address, and then try and really get the feeling of how the left hip is actually going to clear backwards, and then that will make you more rotational through the shot.
Okay.
And again, you can see how much more flush that ball was there, putting a little spin on it there. So what did you feel in that swing there that kind of stood out to you?
I would say, believe it or not, freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like, yes, I definitely felt like I got weight left and my hips open left. I didn't lag my hands behind as much as I could have, but I felt pretty free through the ball.
Okay.
I wasn't worried about where it was going.
Mm-hmm. Any thought at all about mechanics?
There was none.
Okay. And so it's
Which
more,
I don't want any, right?
yeah, it's more of trying to feel a certain flow of motion. Is
Absolutely.
what you're trying to feel there. So and again, we can look at everything that you're trying to achieve on a little wedge shot like this, okay, according to a TrackMan number, is that you want a little bit of a negative path, which you had there on -6, and then you had a little bit more of a positive face, +7. So now all of a sudden the ball is coming in with a little cut spin.
Yeah.
And so with that cut spin, that's how you're able to control the depth, that distance that the ball travels, and then put some spin on the ball so it just stops right there on a dime. And that's exactly what you achieved on that swing there.
And that one went 60 yards?
Yeah, so we're on a 60-yard shot here, exactly. So you can see that launch of the ball was a -1.9, had a little bit of cut spin on it. You're able to control that. Now, if you want the ball, let's say we want to land the ball, say 65, and then spin it back to 60. So what would you do to generate a little bit more power in order to get that ball to fly a little further? So go ahead and kind of simulate a practice swing. And again, the power source that we consistently talk about is rotational force. The body, the speed of the body rotation. If you're going to throw a ball, how much faster does the hips rotate in order to generate more speed in throwing the ball further? There you go, like that. Now try that move right there. That was excellent. So you simulated that beautifully, just athletically thinking about, oh, okay, if I want to throw the ball further, what am I feeling?
That's all I was trying to do, was think five yards more. Oops.
Yep.
It did go 5 yards.
There you go.
Or 10.
Yeah. Boy, look how easy that was to generate a little more speed.
What?
Yeah. Now what we're going to do to monitor that depth that the ball is traveling is we're going to actually chip the finish a little bit more. So you'll actually have a little bit of a shorter chip finish. So go and take your setup there.
Oh, gotcha.
So I want you to try and feel a little bit more of a designated finish point. So when you're coming through, just try and feel like your finish is right here. Okay? So go ahead and make a practice swing.
Hands.
So what would it feel like? What would it feel like to have, say, like a 50-yard shot? What would it feel like to have a 60-yard shot? What would it feel like to have a 70-yard shot? But you're going to have a designated finish point for each of those.
Interesting.
So that way the length of the swing is going to be the same on all of those shots. And then you're just getting the feel of how much speed you're going to generate going into that finish.
So I'm still accelerating, but I'm just accelerating at a different MPH.
Exactly.
I'm going to finish there, every one.
Every one.
Wow.
Yeah, let's try that.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and start.
So I don't need to have more of a backswing to hit it farther.
No, not at all.
I just need more speed.
Yeah. So like if you were to relate it to, like, if I'm going to throw a baseball, Okay, compared to I'm going to throw a baseball to second base, or I'm going to throw a baseball to first base, or throw it home. Basically, it's me being able to feel the rotational speed,
Sure.
but have a designated finish point for each of those.
Which one we doing?
So let's start off with 50 yards. So we're going to land this ball right up in front of the green, which is 60 yards away.
50, right there.
Yep.
But it's finished in the same spot.
Yes, sir. Right in there. So you're going to see that nice distance control right there. Well, that's beautiful. That's about 10 yards short of that target right there. So you're going to get the feel. I've moved the target to 50 yards away. Okay? So you're going to have a designated length of swing, which will basically be the exact same length of swing for all these little wedge shots. Let's basically simplify the variables. Okay? Fewer variables. Okay? Length of swing is going to be a consistent variable. Okay? Now, what do you feel inside your swing on a practice swing? How much power do you want to feel in order for the ball to go 50 yards? So go ahead and make a practice swing.
That's so
here.
interesting. I mean, in my, let's call it ignorance or naivete, I always thought more swing, farther, less swing, less. But I love this idea of staying consistent, you know.
Right there. Yeah, beautiful there. And that's kind of a little bit of a trick that I've seen some tour players do, that when they make that practice swing, they actually say the number. Okay, 50.
That's good.
50.
No, I want to ingrain that in my head.
Yeah.
Okay. It was 60.
I'd say that's 50. Very nice.
Oh, we moved the flag to 50.
We moved the flag to 50. That way we have a result there. You just knock that in there tight. Okay, so now I'm going to move you back here on the simulator here at the Summit Club. Moving you back to 60.
Uh-oh.
Okay? But again, what you're going to do is you're just going to make the exact same length of swing. And again, what you need to feel to have that ball go further. Okay, it's the speed of the rotation. The hip rotation is really literally the best hip rotation that I've seen you make since we've known each other. Your hips are rotating through the ball rather than sliding through the ball. Okay. Now all of a sudden what happens is that you're squaring your body up to the target, which makes it a lot easier for the hands to be able to control those angles that we're trying to achieve.
Agreed.
So that last swing there, that's a beautiful path, little negative path with a slightly positive face. That helps you give that control that ball had. So here we go. So we're going to go to a 60-yard shot now. It's dialing in the wedges.
Okay.
Distance control.
Everything.
This exact same length of swing. And just brought it in a little bit past the hole and spins it back down. That's nice. That's good distance control there. Let's try one more from that distance there.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we are. We got our 60-yard shot now. So and again, I like the idea of when you're making a practice swing, you're trying to simulate exactly, this is what I want to feel. Okay? How many times shooting a free throw do you go up to the free throw line and try and rehearse, hey, this is what I'm going to feel before the referee gives you the ball?
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had a routine. It was 3 dribbles, grab the ball the same way, look at the front of the rim, and then I would say to myself, just me and the rim.
Yep. Now you're going to take that same routine into your golf game.
Yep. There it was. I felt it. Gonna be close.
Yep. How'd you know?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. That's a nice shot there. Put it in there close. Now I'm going to go ahead and move you back. I'm going to go back another 10 yards. So now, same length of swing. That's going to be our constant variable. Now we're out at 70 yards. And again, what do you need to feel inside that same length of swing to produce that 10 more yards?
I mean, my engineering mind says I could square the face more. It's going to hit it lower and farther, but I don't want to do that. That's a variable I don't want, because I'd rather have consistent contact and strike with what you're teaching me. So I got to feel more speed at the ball.
Yeah, good. Now make a practice swing and rehearse that. And even if you say to yourself 70, what does that instinctively do for you when you're swinging? Just by saying the word 70 compared to 60. Is that enough 70? Is that enough power for 70, what you just did right there?
I think so.
Okay, so do one more. And when I ask that question again, the answer we want is, I know so. I know that was 70. I don't think that was 70. I know that was 70.
It's true.
And even if you were to say to yourself on this next swing, well, 75. So how does your body react to you thinking another 5 yards? Well, it's going to obviously go ahead and shift gears because you know you're trying to get that little extra 5 yards. A lot of times you can actually get up and make a practice swing, even though our goal is to go 70, you can make a practice swing and feel, okay, was that my 60-yard shot? Now what would my 80-yard shot be? Now, what's in between the two? 70. So what you're doing is you're using the practice swing to help you refine how much power you want to feel inside that designated length of swing.
And I think if I had unlimited time, I would probably develop 50, 60, 70 with that club, and then go to my sand wedge and hit 80, 90, 100 would be almost those same 3 feels.
Exactly. Yeah,
right?
that's
Just
exactly
math.
right. And according to this, with TrackMan, you can actually see what the club head speed is, centerness of contact, what the spin axis is. So here we go. So we're going to go 70 yards. Yep, 70 yards on this shot.
That's not it. 7.
And great distance control right there.
Huh.
Beautiful. How
Wow.
about that?
Wow.
Yeah. And the thing is, here's the whole key. How do you shoot lower scores? You have shorter putts. How do you get shorter putts? Get those wedges closer.
Yeah.
Because we know you're a great ball striker off the tee. You get that ball down the fairway a long ways. Now you got a wedge in your hands, and now you've got a frame of reference on how to have that distance control. We see on the PGA Tour weekly, these guys hit the ball long ways, but it comes down to who puts the wedge in there tight and then makes the short putt.
And what we don't see is the hundreds or 200s or 300s of wedges they dial in a day, right?
Yep.
Like I'm doing this with 5, 6 shots. They're hitting 50 of those.
Exactly.
And 50 of the next one, and 50. And then we watch them on tour. I'm like, how do they hit it the perfect distance every time? Well, they've ingrained it.
Yep.
And I like the idea of, I don't want to try and hit this club with 50-yard increments, but what you just taught me, 50, 60, 70, I can do.
Yep.
Now, if I took the sand wedge, it probably goes 65, 80, 95. And then the gap wedge probably goes 15 more on all those same 3 speeds. I just gave myself 9 at the pitching wedge, 12 yardages, which I could dial, right?
Yeah. Well, the key thing is when you're practicing, because you said earlier, you want to use this time of the year, the winter time, to be able to have a project, to be able to come in here and refine with the help of TrackMan, and being able to go, hey, when springtime comes out and I want to go out and play some golf on the course, I want to have my wedge game dialed in. This is a great way, not only for you, but everybody out there watching, to be able to say, hey, I'm going to dial my wedge game in, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the length of swing be a constant variable, and then I'm going to get the feel, develop the feel. Because, again, when you're playing a different golf course, that feel can sometimes change. And so the more refined your feel is, then you're going to be able to apply that out on the golf course.
This is revolutionary for me because I'm good with my hands and because I have practiced a bunch. Well, look at all those strikes.
Dead center.
They're all right in the middle. I would do, I don't want to call them gimmicks or tricks, but I would do little things to hit the ball 10 yards less or 10 yards more. That's going to lend to inconsistency of a strike, right?
Yeah.
If I grip down on the club, if I take a longer swing, if I open the face more and try and, it does it. You just showed me right there. I don't need to do that. You just gave me a 50, a 60, a 70. And for those of you watching, it's not like I had 20 balls before we started the camera and we said, okay, I got the 50 dialed, the 60 and the 70. I hit 100 balls before. Those were the first ones. He just taught me to feel, what does it feel like to send the ball 10 yards farther?
Yep.
Without changing this, without changing that. And there's the proof right there. I mean, my wedge is not worn beautifully like a tiger wedge where it's just one dot, but I can tell the yellow markings from that ball are all right there in the last 10.
Dead center. So this would be a great way for everybody at home to be able to work on those wedges and get them dialed in. So now you have those shorter putts to shoot lower scores.
Heck yeah. Here, amen.